I'm Jessica Ritchie, signing on for Channel 1520 News. Our first story today is a continuation of a running program we fondly call When Nature Calls. This week, we will be focusing in on the research of Dr. Jacob Dunn of the University of Cambridge and his work with howler monkeys. His investigation focused on the relationship between the size of male howler monkey vocal tracts and their testes. This may sound odd, but what this is actually looking at is the trade-off between pre-copulatory and post-copulatory traits. Large vocal tracts means a louder howl, used to woo females and ward off competitors, making it a pre-copulatory trait. This was compared to large testes, resulting in larger sperm count, which is a post-copulatory trait. Let's talk to Tanner to find out how Dr. Dunn conducted this investigation.
Thanks, Jessica. Dr. Dunn's team analyzed 255 adult hyoids, identifying species by the geographic location in which the specimen were collected. For all you average folk confused by the term hyoid, it's a U-shaped bone in the neck that supports the tongue. The team scanned these bones using a 3D laser surface scanner to calculate hyoid volume. They drew on both self-generated data and previous studies on testes volume, canine length, and body weight, though ran into the issue that some of the data for these sets came from different populations of monkeys, though the team was able to correct for environmental variation. If you're really interested in monkeys' testes volume, data on these traits can be seen at the data desk with Katie. To obtain further data on vocal cord length, the team performed CT and MRI scans on 2 adult monkey cadavers. Bet that was a scream. To determine how much the monkeys were overcompensating for their small manhood, the team obtained recordings of lone adult male alouatta roars from library sound archives and calculated change in frequency and vocal tract length. To examine differences in hyoid bone volume and canine length between sexes and among species, the team used a general linear model, followed by a one-way ANOVA, to demonstrate difference in testes volume. In each analysis, hyoid volume was designated the dependent variable. Now let's talk to Katie about the data.
Thanks, Tanner. This phylogeny shows the variation in howler monkey species. Now in this figure, you can see the relationship between the variables in pre- and post-copulatory male strategies in the howler monkey species. For scatter plot A, you can see the regression of the line showing that there is a decrease in hyoid volume as the number of male per group increases. In scatter plot B, you can see that as number of males per group increases, testes volume increases as well. In scatter plot C, you can see that male hyoid volume decreases as testes volume increases. In scatter plot D, you can see that as the density of male howler monkey increases, their hyoid volume decreases. These figures show low frequency of howler monkey vocalizations. In figure A, you can see that the body mass in kilograms versus hyoid frequency in hertz. In figure B, you can see the vocal fold length in millimeters versus the fundamental frequency in hertz of different types of animals. Now that we have all the data, let's see what Aaron has to say about the results and conclusion.
Dr. Dunn's conclusion to his experiment was, if paraphrased, the louder the calls, the smaller the balls. Scientifically, Dr. Dunn found an inverse relationship between the hyoid and testes size. While observing and studying the monkeys, he came to some other fascinating conclusions. He found hyoid bone and canine tooth size are highly sexually dimorphic, and testes volume increased with the number of males in the group. The biggest of these discoveries was the relationship between the hyoid and testes because of the trade-offs that happen in evolution. It takes extra energy to make something bigger. The monkeys in the experiment exemplify this trade-off through the fact that they cannot support both bigger testes and hyoid bones. While this would provide them with a greater reproductive advantage, it would require too much energy to maintain. Dr. Dunn concluded that our results provide strong evidence for the vocal competition hypothesis, consistent with Darwin's suggestion that the vocal organs of male alouatta have been sexually selected.
Having a louder call or larger testes are both perfect examples of ways to compete in the monkey society. The louder howl attracts females to mate and also scares off potential male competition, while the larger testes has a larger sperm volume and therefore can displace previous male sperm. With what we know from the esteemed Dr. Kerr of Georgia Tech, we can see that traits have advantages in different social group dynamics. The monkeys with larger testes will have the advantage in promiscuous societies, while those with larger hyoids would benefit in polygynous societies, where there is many females for one male. Dr. Dunn definitely discovered something interesting and deserved a spot on this week's When Nature Calls. Once again, I'm Jessica Ritchie, signing off. Stay classy, Atlanta.